Welcome to the Mindset for Success show. I'm Temia Brinson, your host, and I'm so excited about the show tonight because we have a special guest. Tonight we have Natasha Darkangelo. She is a licensed mental health counselor, a nationally certified counselor, and also a certified clinical trauma professional. Okay, so the next one is isolating from loved ones. People around you keep asking if you're okay.
And this has been especially hard because of COVID. So I will tell you, as personally, I have had a really, really big increase this year in people coming to me with anxiety and depression, people that have never talked to a therapist before. And it's because the things that we normally do to cope have been taken away from us. So normally, if you're feeling kind of down, you may go and spend an evening with your friends, right? Let's go out to dinner. Let's watch a movie together. Now, if you're feeling down, what can you do? You're stuck at home. You can't do those things that you would normally do. And also, unfortunately, sometimes the people that we are quarantining with may not be the healthiest relationships in our lives. And the things that we do outside of the home are an escape from not so great home environments. Right. But now we can't do that. All that's been taken away from us. So it's been especially challenging because of COVID. But if you're also noticing that people are reaching out to you by text or they're trying to call you and you see it come through on your phone, and I can't talk to anybody right now, or I don't have the energy to return those texts. And the texts that you're getting are, hey, I'm worried about you. I haven't talked to you in a week. Are you okay? How are you doing? Talk to me. I'm just checking in with you. If you find that you're withdrawing from even those kinds of conversations, that's potentially another sign that there's something going on that you need to address. And some of what I've been working with my clients on this year is how do we maintain that human connection? Because at the end of the day, we are social creatures. We need to be with each other. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so how do we do that in the midst of a pandemic when being with people can be dangerous? And so we've been talking about things like outdoor activities. So, okay, you and your friends maybe can't go, out to a dance club right now. But if somebody has a large enough yard, can everybody come over to the yard? Bring their own camping chairs, bring their own food. So you're not sharing food either. Everybody can wear masks. And even being physically together in the same space can make such a big difference in your mood, especially because we haven't been able to do that this year.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Because when I connect with my family, it's just such a joy throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And mind you, now this is several times throughout the day. So that really helps. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is feels like you can't sit still. Your thoughts are racing. I think that's similar to, can't concentrate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So again, I'm talking about a change in behavior. If you find that we'll do the can't concentrate one first. If you find that you there's like a favorite TV show that you're just really into. And so you've got it pulled up on Netflix and 20 minutes have gone by. And you have absolutely no idea what happened. And so you rewind it and you start again. And then another 10 minutes go by and you have absolutely no idea what happened. I'm talking about that kind of thing. Or, you put all the laundry together, you take it upstairs, and then you walk by and you see that there's an unmade bed. And so then you make the bed and then it's 5 hours later and the laundry hasn't gotten done. Those kinds of things, the poor concentration, that's a sign that there may be something going on. The feeling of not being able to sit still, it's this uncomfortable, I have to be going, I have to be moving, I have to be doing. And sometimes my clients describe it as this feeling of impending doom. So if I'm not going or doing or pacing or shaking my leg or chewing gum or whatever it is, it feels like something terrible is going to happen. So it's like there's this motor inside of you that you can't shut off. Kind of the same thing with the racing thoughts. So your brain is just going a million miles an hour and you can't seem to grasp on to one thought. And so maybe somebody's trying to have a conversation with you, but your brain is projecting forward to, oh my goodness, did I forget to turn the stove off when I left the house? And then the whole house is going to burn down. And then what am I going to do? And then you kind of send yourself into this panic mode. Yeah, so something like that.
Okay, now you mentioned panic attacks. Is there anything people can do in the meantime before they get to see someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard. I mean, I have friends that have, a couple of friends that have panic attacks, and it's like horrible.
Yes, it feels like you're going to die. It feels like you're going to die. I've had clients at 21 in the emergency room convinced that they were having a heart attack, and it was a panic attack. So what I would say is, you know you better than anybody knows you. And if any of this seems to ring true for you, these changes in behavior, these changes in thought pattern, it's probably a sign that there's something going on. And it's better that you talk to somebody early on rather than you wait until you're in a crisis mode or in a crisis situation. So that's the first thing I would recommend. If you're questioning, should I go talk to a mental health professional? The answer is yes. The fact that you're having that conversation with somebody means that you need to be seeing somebody. Or if the people around you are telling you, hey, I'm really worried, have you thought about reaching out to a therapist or somebody in the mental health field? That's probably another sign that you need to be talking to somebody. Now, if all of that goes by and you do have panic attacks and you've never had one before, very often I'll get clients who've ended up in the emergency room because they thought that they were dying of a heart attack. And they come to me and they say they ran all of these tests and everything was normal. And they told me it was a panic attack and I need to go see a therapist. There is a great app that I really like. It's called Insight Timer. It's INSIGHT. And it is a free app, which is another thing that I like about it. And it has thousands of guided meditations on there. And there are ones specifically for panic attacks. So we generally know when it's going to happen. We can feel our heart rate increase. It feels like there's an elephant sitting on top of our chest. Some people describe tunnel vision, where it's like the rest of the world kind of blacks out. You may feel like you are having a heart attack. You can't catch your breath. Your palms get sweaty. Those are kind of warning signs. And if that's happening, then I would recommend that you try to maybe do some deep breathing or try one of those guided meditations. Those kinds of things can potentially be helpful.
Okay. And you said it's Insight app.
Insight Timer. Hold on. I can put it in the chat. And it is a free app and it has thousands of guided meditations on there. I recommend that to clients all the time. I use it myself to help me sleep.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. We'll be right back right after this break.
You tell me that I'm your pride and you made me in your image to glorify your name. You wonderfully made me like this, so righteous. So I want to give it back to you. Everything, all the praises, everything, all the glory. Give it back to you. Everything on the parade. just wanna find a place to shout and say, for all to hear I was created. You made me perfect. You made me like you to honor you. So I wanna give it back to you. Everything, all the praises, everything, all the glory. So I wanna give it back to you. Everything, all the praises. You deserve all the glory. Praises go up and the blessings they come down. So I wanna magnify you. I wanna lift you higher. Praises go up and the blessings they come down. So I wanna magnify you. I wanna lift you higher. 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 I'm gonna lift you high. 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 Praises go up and the blessings they come down. So I wanna lift you higher. Praises go up and the blessings they come down. I wanna make you bigger, Lord. Magnify you. I wanna lift you higher. Praises go up and the blessings they keep on coming down. I wanna lift you high.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Liza Koshy, and today I'm going to tell you a little story about my anxiety. So I turned 20. I had been moved out to LA. I was doing different stuff out here and having fun and just being myself until anxiety hit me like a brick. Mine specifically is social anxiety, which is ironic for the job that I have as a social influencer. Talking to a camera was something that always made me feel comfortable. Talking to a camera right now is much better than me talking to a person because I'm a socially anxious person. So dealing with my anxiety was hard, and I'm still dealing with it, but it's not something that can't be dealt with. I have a friend who opened up to me about his OCD, and it was something that was very tough for him to open up about because he had never opened up to anybody about it before. And I completely related to that because I had been holding in my feelings about my anxiety for an entire year. It just started this free flow of conversation between both of us about my anxiety, about his OCD, about these two things that we didn't know about each other. We thought we knew each other so well, but it wasn't until we opened up about our mental health that we really, really connected even more. Now we actually have a code name. Whenever I'm feeling anxious or whenever he's having, his thoughts, it's called Tiffany. But it's just like, hey, Tiffany's here. She's freaking here, man. It feels good to be able to label something and put it away in your brain rather than let it become your entire brain in itself. Everybody has some sort of mental health to take care of. It is a part of your health. It's something that you live with, and that's something that you learn to deal with by opening up to people about.
And now, let's continue with our discussion. Okay, well, Natasha, thank you very much. Let me ask you, though, you're at Lake Nona Behavioral Health Services.
Yes.
Now, is that they take insurance, right?
We do not. We are private. We are private pay only.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you have, do you offer telehealth?
Yes, right now, here, I'm going to put the name of the practice in the chat. Right now, we are telehealth. We have been telehealth since mid-March. We have been watching the numbers closely and trying to assess when would it be safe, because ultimately we don't want to return to office if it's not safe for our clients. But the benefit to that is that if you're in Florida, I can see you. And the same thing with the psychiatrists. So it has been a benefit that way, because I do have some clients that physically are too far to make it to the office. And so it's been a convenience that way. But yeah, we are telehealth right now. So, and we do accept HSA plans and FSA plans. And what some clients also do is we will provide you with what's called a super bill that you can submit to your insurance company for out-of-network coverage. But you would have to talk to your insurance company about if that's something that they do. Because let's say that your insurance is Cigna. We're not obviously a participating provider, but Cigna may cover some percentage of it because we're considered out of network, but that varies by individual insurance company. So some clients will do that as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Natasha, we're going to put that information up on the screen and also on my website, TemiaBrinson.com. And I'm going to let the audience know anything we can do to help our mental health during this pandemic. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're trying to be healthy.
So could I mention a few things on that point?
Sure.
A lot of times we feel overwhelmed. We don't know where to start when we're looking for mental health help. Where do I even go? Where do I even begin? And so there's a few things that I recommend. If you are working, if your company is large enough, they may offer something called EAP. That's an employee assistance program where you may get, it varies by company, but 4 to 6 free sessions with a therapist that your company knows nothing about. They won't know that you have made that phone call. The only thing that they keep track of is how many employees have taken advantage of that, right? So they won't say, Jane Doe went to see a therapist and talked about this stuff. They'll just say, we had 5 employees last year, call the phone number, right? So EAP is a great option if you have that through work. There's also a website called Psychology Today. Psychology Today is a nationwide database of mental health professionals. So that would be therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, marriage and family therapists. And you can search by your zip code. You can search by gender. You can search by language. You can search by religion. And you can just put in your information and find somebody that's in your area that meets those specifications that you've put in. What I like about Psychology Today is everybody that's listed on that site has already had their credentials verified. So you don't need to worry about whether or not they're licensed. If they say that they're licensed, it means Psychology Today has already verified that. So that's another great option. And then talk to your friends. One of my big things, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you today. We have a very, very bad habit as a society of saying that if somebody is going through mental health stuff, that they need to, kind of suck it up, right? And walk it off. And the truth is that my clients that are depressed and anxious, they don't want to be feeling that way. It's a horrible way to live your life. Yes. And imagine if somebody came to you, if a friend came to you and they said, I think I broke my leg. I'm having a hard time walking. Would you say to them, I think it's all in your head. I don't think you need to talk to anybody about that. Just suck it up, right? You would never think to do that. And yet as a society, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm feeling depressed or I'm feeling anxious, how often are you having the conversation of, that's all, just stop feeling that way. That's all in your head, right? What if instead we change that conversation around and said, wow, that sounds really uncomfortable. Do you need help finding somebody? It sounds like you might need to talk to somebody. We need to normalize talking about mental health. We need to destigmatize going out and speaking to somebody. Exactly. That has to happen. And that happens in our living rooms.
Yeah.
And
I hardly agree.
Yeah. We have to encourage people to go out and talk to somebody, because so many people are sitting at home alone, just struggling with the stuff by themselves, and they're too embarrassed to talk to their family about it. And they feel like if they do it, it makes you crazy. It doesn't make you crazy. Right. It makes you normal. It makes you human. We all go through things. These have been incredibly challenging times between the pandemic and the social justice stuff going on top of the economic stuff, on top of the upcoming election. I quite frankly would be surprised if you didn't have something going on with your mental health. Reach out and talk to somebody. Do you have a church community? Reach out to somebody in your church community. Yes. They may be able to direct you to the right place as well. So don't feel embarrassed to reach out and talk to somebody. There are people like me at the other end that are ready, willing, and able to listen. And, please take advantage of that. I'll try to end with this, because I could go on forever, as you probably guessed. The American Mental Health Counseling Association, which is one of the professional bodies that I belong to, they released a study earlier this year, and it states that 41% of Americans, and this was this summer, 41% of Americans are reporting that they are struggling with depression or anxiety or both. And if we compare that to the same period last year, we were looking at 8.8% of people that were struggling with depression or anxiety. So we've gone from 8.8% to 41%. Don't tell me you're not going through something right now. Don't tell me that. So please, 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 if you are struggling, if any of this sounds familiar to you, reach out to somebody. If you don't know where to get started, email me. I am happy to help you find somebody to talk to. Okay?
Yeah, I think the main thing with our society here is that the word crazy, and they think, because you're reaching out, that people would think that you're crazy. First of all, people don't have to know. You don't have to spread your business.
Absolutely true.
Just go get some help. True. Yeah. And second of all, you're not crazy for reaching out. You're crazy, or will go crazy if you don't.
Absolutely.
If you go untreated or not taking care of the issue, then it's going to get worse. So
absolutely,
it'll manifest itself publicly.
Yes. So. And I think another thing, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Temia, because I think another thing that people don't realize is we have a vow of privacy. When I sit down with a client, the first thing, before they say anything to me, I say, I have to tell you, everything that you share with me is going to remain between us. Yes. The exceptions to that are if you tell me that you are going to hurt yourself, if you tell me you are going to hurt somebody else, or all therapists are also state mandated reporters. So if there is child abuse that you tell us about, elderly abuse that you tell us about, or abuse of a disabled adult, we are state mandated to report those things. Outside of those categories, nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody knows. It's between you and I.
Yes. Okay, well, Natasha, thank you very much. And I'm so glad you came on to share with us.
Thank you so much for having me. If you need anything, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer questions.
He is our hope. He is our joy. We shall not be moved. Open up your mouth today. Let us let the world know. Let us let the world see it. Be manifested the joy inside of us. Only fire. Burn in me and create. I want the world to know your desire for positivity or looking for encouragement. Temia Brinson aims to educate you